lot. I mean, this is a great occasion, and I think that what it really represents to me is the spirit of generosity that has really been essential to Catamount's growth and to, I think, the development of an extraordinary cultural sector, educational sector in St. Johnsbury as a whole. For a town this size, for a town with these demographics, for a town that's not the most affluent town in Vermont, St. Johnsbury boasts an extraordinary range and array of riches. And the idea that the Masons would give this building to Catamount Arts and really in doing so ensure a future for the organization. I don't know whether people know, I mean, the Arts Center next door, which I was a part of getting together in the first place, had a lease of only 25 years, and in fact it went through, I think, 23 of those years, when just in the nick of time, the Masons stepped forward and made this extraordinary gift to really ensure a future for Catamount Arts. And I myself, I think I wrote a piece in the Caledonian yesterday, and my great-grandfather was actually a 33rd degree Mason. And I never knew much about it, except that there was a ring that was passed down through the family that had a 33 in diamonds on gold bands. And my son Jasper appropriated it when he was 11 years old and started wearing it. He looked like Liberace, but for me, in fact, I'm not even sure where it is. If my mother knew that, she'd be outraged. But for me, the idea of I've always said, what do the Masons represent? And I've known that there have been good works and community service. And for me, the idea of this gift to Catamount Arts really gives so much meaning and so much strength, because I don't know, what if this gift had not been made? I think that there would have been real questions about where Catamount would be. But the idea that Catamount can take its place alongside the Athenaeum, the museum, St. Johnsbury Academy, as the cultural district, and really working to continue to integrate the arts into community life is all I certainly would have hoped for on day one, and I never would have dreamed of it. I mean, the day one of Catamount Arts was showing a single movie at Lyndon State College, Charlie Chaplin's Limelight, and the idea was that that might be a one-shot deal. Bill Marshall is here today, and he played a very important role in those very early years because we partnered with the Peacham School to make that film series come alive. And I think that the idea at that point was the arts and community trying to do things that otherwise would not happen, and to try to engender a spirit of generosity. Tickets back in those days were $1.25. The fact that Catamount has also continued to build on its film legacy, I think, is especially important. And 3 years ago, after not having been active in sort of arts presentation, I approached Jody and revived sort of more ambitious performing arts events because I sensed that there was this possibility of partnership. And I think that in the arts especially, because there's so little money, there is a tendency to compete. And I see it everywhere. There's a tendency even for organizations to encroach upon each other, or to try to usurp each other's missions, or to elbow the other to be out front. I think the special thanks I want to give to Catamount today is that that spirit of generosity and partnership has become a predominating sense that Catamount is putting out to the community. Look at their new website. It just went up in the last day or two. The partners that are identified, each organization is profiled. Their shows are featured on the website. It is really a hub. It is a pivotal player. It is the anchor for the arts and culture, not just in St. Johnsbury, but for a region that extends 60 miles in every direction. And thank you to Catamount.
You're here. You're here.
Thank you, Jay. We are certainly here today to celebrate the history and the beauty of this wonderful building, but no building exists in a vacuum. No cultural organization, no fraternal organization exists without the help of others. And St. Johnsbury has been remarkably blessed throughout its history to have a wealth of both architecture and cultural and fraternal organizations that have really helped to make the community what it is today. Certainly, as we mentioned, the buildings at the Academy, the Athenaeum, and the Fairbanks Museum. And right now, I would like to meet someone who is representing this cultural and fraternal alliance here in St. Johnsbury. It is the director of the Fairbanks Museum. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Charlie Browne.
You noticed that Jay did that whole presentation without notes, and those of you who know me know I can't even say good morning without a piece of paper in front of me. So, good morning. The theme of today's festival in St. Johnsbury is a tradition of innovation. It's an oxymoron, isn't it? I like to think of a tradition of innovation as suggesting dynamic tension. It's really embodied in this landmark building as it has transferred its heritage to the present and the future. Special congratulations to the Masons past and present. Thank you so much, and to your many friends over the years who have shared the vision of keeping this building alive and vibrant. And Catamount Arts is now an institution. It's no longer an itinerant film program. It's no longer a place waiting for the lease to run out. It is an institution right at home here in St. Johnsbury. Catamount Arts, with energy, momentum, and this splendid home, has taken its place as an extraordinary resource for culture and the arts in St. Johnsbury and beyond, alongside a world-class independent high school, St. Johnsbury Academy, a National Historic Landmark Library and Gallery, the St. Johnsbury Athenaeum, and the venerable and beloved Fairbanks Museum and Planetarium. No other community of this size can claim such rich resources for art and culture. Now, culture is our shared experience, our values, our heritage, our vision, our sense of place. Art is that universal human imperative to creative expression. From needlepoint to garage rock, from digital design to expressive dance, from filmmaking to poetry, from a well-tended garden to a well-crafted novel, from nature photography to culinary delights, and from watercolors to a handsomely turned cherry wood bowl. Art in all of its forms shapes and illuminates our shared culture by expressing our values, inspiring our thinking, and contributing to our heritage across our generations. Together, these four institutions have formed the St. Johnsbury Arts and Culture Alliance with a shared purpose to nurture that imperative in us all and to do so in close collaboration rather than that historic competition that Jay referenced. I thank Jody Freed and his team, Joe Healy and his Academy colleagues, Matt Powers and his Athenaeum team, and Anna Rubin and her museum colleagues for breathing life into this organization. Together, they've defined and celebrate a St. Johnsbury Arts and Culture campus, one without walls to be sure, but marked by beautiful student-designed banners that line Main Street from the Academy to the museum and down Eastern Avenue and Railroad Street. Together, these organizations are creating a new, authentic learning experience for St. Johnsbury Academy freshmen, the Freshman Humanities Capstone, that will bring students into working contact with these like-minded institutions and their resources. Together, Catamount Arts and the Athenaeum are launching a new arts education program. And a community public sculpture project is in the planning stages. And together, these four institutions are finally coordinating and sharing their respective calendars of community events. Collectively, the Arts and Culture Alliance is a unique community asset, one with a tradition of innovation, if you will, and one that is driving a thriving creative economy right here in St. Johnsbury, from which we all will benefit. So thank you to Catamount Arts and your beautiful facility for being a leading part of this effort. Thank you.
Thank you, Charlie. 100 years ago, when this building opened, it fulfilled the dreams of the Masons to have stability and a permanence for their organization. 6 years ago, a little over 6 years ago, the Masons fulfilled Catamount's dreams when they crossed the lawn and said, how'd you like to move next door? And they offered this building to us. And we are now confident that our collaboration, our synergy will last for more than the next century. Right now, I would like you to meet the worshipful master of this Masonic lodge and temple. Please welcome Mr. Jason DiGiulio.
Thank you. So my name is Jason DiGiulio, and I am the president of this local group. In our tradition, we call it a worshipful master. It just means that I'm responsible for not only the physical space, but the spiritual, intellectual, and philosophical space of which you are now participating and enjoying. When we look back over our own history, we see that we've been in St. Johnsbury since 1867. And we believe that it's the moral responsibility of every human being to seek self-improvement, and not only improve oneself, but to, in doing so, improve one's family, one's community, and one's culture. So we're all responsible for each other, despite what the news might imply. So, when we looked at this building, we realized that we had a huge space that was being underutilized, and that might be a wonderful space for some other organizations to participate in. And the partnership with Catamount Arts has been absolutely paradigm shifting in our thinking, because we're used to being closed, we're used to interacting with the public on a personal level, but now you get to see the wonderful building, and we're hoping to welcome many of you upstairs so we can show you the lodge room and the great work that happens there. And we have upstairs the meeting minutes of when this building was dedicated and some original pieces from the time. And we encourage you to ask questions about the organization and what we do. We'll answer as much as we can. And we are more than you see on the History Channel, and I don't know where any treasure is. And we're talking about a philosophical and spiritual treasure about improving everybody's life. So, I'd be happy to answer questions. And Catamount, thank you so much for making this building wonderful. And community partners, thank you for helping the building be glorious. And I hope that for the next 5,000 years, we're all still working together just as well. So thank you.